My name is Conrad Blickensdorfer. I'm the editor-in-chief of ruggedpcreview.com. And today I want to talk to you for a few minutes about some of the things to consider if you plan on adding rugged tablets to your operation. First of all, their size. Tablets come in many sizes, as small as 6 inches diagonal, all the way up to 12, 14, even 16 inches. Obviously, there's a big difference in weight. There's a big difference in functionality, and there's a big difference in cost. So getting the right size is very important, or else your staff is probably not going to be very happy. It's too heavy, or it's just too small to see what's going on the screen. Keep that in mind. Operating system. You can get tablets that run full Windows 10. You cannot get tablets anymore that run the old Microsoft operating systems like Windows CE, or Windows Mobile, or Windows Embedded Handheld. You can get Android. Android by now is by far the dominant operating system for smartphones. Everybody knows Android. There's literally billions of people who are very familiar with Android, so there's less training. Android's market share also means there is a great wealth of applications and programmer availability and expertise. On the Windows side, you can get full Windows 10, even on fairly small tablets. There's tablets that are, barely larger than a smartphone that run full Windows 10. Whether or not that works for you is that only you know, because Windows was designed for a much larger screen. And if you run full Windows 10 on the little tiny screen, it's not that easy. On the Android side, you may want to make sure that your rugged Android device is powerful enough to move along at the same speed and pace and ease of use that everybody's used to from their smartphones. Consumer technology, of course, will always have the latest and greatest chips and screens and everything. That's not necessarily required for rugged devices where the life cycle and purchasing life cycle is larger. But do make sure that whatever you pick is reasonably quick, because otherwise your users will be unhappy. As of early 2021, Android devices in vertical markets, rugged devices, often have the Snapdragon 660 chip in it. That's no longer new, but it's fast enough, quick enough. So you wouldn't want anything that's a lot slower than that. Battery life is very important. With rugged devices, be they handhelds or tablets, you want to make sure that they last through a whole shift. That means, 8 to 10 hours. If you use a tablet continuously, it may be important that it has replaceable batteries so that you can just have a couple of batteries in your pocket, spares, charged. And if the battery runs out, you just pop in another one. Consumer technology is all slim and slender and glitzy and as thin as possible. And, that's not necessarily a priority when it comes to rugged tablets. You may have noticed that when you hold a modern Android device or iPhone, and the screen takes up the entire front, and if you touch the thing the wrong way, all things can happen on the screen. So for the rugged devices, we generally recommend that they have a bezel so that you can just hold it without the screen going nuts instantly. Likewise, we all love capacitive multi-touch. We love all the pinching and tapping and zooming and all that good stuff. But sometimes buttons come in handy. I mean, if you're out there in the field and it's raining or you have gloves on, to be able to just push a couple of programmable buttons, 2, 3, 4 buttons for functions that you use all the time, that's a good thing. So keep that in mind. You also need to think about how much ruggedness you need in your rugged tablets. There's some things called semi-rugged. There's a designation called enterprise rugged. There's fully rugged. There's ultra rugged. What really matters is that if you're out there in the field with your tablet and you drop it. You don't want it to break. So if it can handle 3 feet, which means basically falling off a desk, that's not good enough. Because if you use a tablet in the field and it falls, it's probably going to fall from roughly 4 feet. So he needs to be able to handle that. And if you have a small tablet that can double up as a phone, so you may hold it against your ear, slips out of your hands, it's going to fall from 5 or 6 feet. It needs to be able to handle that as well. Other important thing is what they call the IP rating, ingress protection rating. Such a rating may be, typical rating may be IP65. The first number 6 would indicate that it's completely dust-proof. The second number 5 in this instance might mean it's fairly waterproof, but not quite. You know, it can handle some rain. It can handle some water spray and stuff. But we generally like to see rugged tablets carry an IP67 rating. That means if you stand by a stream and it falls into the stream or falls into a puddle, you just take it out and no harm done. It can handle that. Another feature that we think is really important is that the screen can be used with gloves on and also in the rain. So if you need to wear gloves on the job, you still ought to be able to operate the screen, and that's actually available. Same with touch screens that can handle rain. So if not a downpour, but if it just rains a little bit, you don't want the screen to go nuts. You want to be able to continue using your tablet. Also, one big difference between rugged tablets and consumer tablets is that consumer tablets, you buy the tablet, you may have to get a case for it or a stylus perhaps, but there's really nothing else available for them. For rugged tablets, you usually have a lot of options. There's accessories, there's peripherals, there's all sorts of things that you can get from a reputable vendor. For example, if you do scanning, you're interested whether you can get an integrated scanner, an industrial grade scanner. There's many options there: laser scanners, LED scanners, 1D, 2D imagers, near distance, far distance. It's all available. So educate yourself as far as that goes. Some other things to consider is really whether the vendor knows what they're doing. There's a lot of companies that go with the flow and whatever's trendy they make. But in the rugged field, experience matters. The folks that have been around for a number of years and stand behind their products, very important. So these are some of the things to consider, and good luck with your selection.